The door slammed with the kind of finality that makes your ears ring long after the sound dies. Jordan's voice still burned in my skull. "I'm not coming out for you, Alex. Not now. Maybe not ever." I stood in the hallway staring at the closed door, chest tight, waiting for him to come back and say he didn't mean it. He didn't. 10 minutes later, I heard his car peel out of the parking lot. That was the moment everything should have gone quiet. Instead, someone knocked. 3 soft taps. I opened the door expecting a neighbor complaining about the noise. Instead there was Ryan. Tall, broad-shouldered, the guy from 4B who always smelled faintly of cedar and motor oil, holding a black duffel bag and looking almost apologetic. "Hey," he said, voice low. "I heard everything. I'm sorry, man, but my place flooded this afternoon. Burst pipe. Landlord says it'll be 2 weeks minimum. I don't have anywhere else tonight." I blinked at him. We'd exchanged maybe 20 words in the 2 years we'd lived next door. He was straight. Everyone knew it. Girlfriend in college, football Sundays, the works. And yet here he was, asking to crash in the apartment where my boyfriend had just walked out on me. "I don't know you," I said, voice flat. "I know." He shifted the bag on his shoulder. "But I'm quiet. I clean up after myself. And I've got nowhere else. Please." I should have said no. Every rational part of me screamed it. But the apartment already felt too big, too empty, too loud with Jordan's absence. So I stepped aside. He moved in that night with the efficiency of someone used to being told where to go and how fast. Couch became his bed. He didn't ask questions. I didn't offer answers. We existed in the same space like 2 planets that had suddenly been forced into the same orbit, close enough to feel gravity, far enough to pretend it didn't matter. The first week was strange but bearable. He worked construction during the day, came home smelling like sawdust and sweat, showered, then disappeared into whatever book he was reading on his phone. I worked from home, writing copy for companies I didn't care about, pretending my heart wasn't bleeding out on the living room floor every time I looked at Jordan's empty side of the bed. We barely spoke, until the 8th night. I was sitting on the kitchen floor at 2 a.m., staring at a bottle of whiskey I hadn't opened, when Ryan walked in for water. He stopped, looked at me, then at the bottle, then back at me. "You okay?" he asked. I laughed. Sounded ugly. "Do I look okay?" He didn't answer right away, just filled his glass, drank half, then slid down the cabinets to sit across from me. "I've never seen 2 guys fight like that," he said quietly. "Not up close." "Yeah, well, welcome to the show." He looked at the floor between us. "He really said that? About not coming out?" I nodded once. Ryan exhaled. "That's rough." I waited for the inevitable follow-up, the awkward straight guy comment, the "but you're still a good dude" platitude. It never came. He just sat there with me until the whiskey bottle stayed unopened and my breathing slowed. That was the first crack in the wall between us. By the end of the 2nd week, the cracks had spread. We started talking. Not about Jordan at first. About stupid things, best burgers in the city, worst movies we'd ever seen, how he'd rebuilt his truck engine twice because he refused to let it die. I told him about growing up in a small town where being gay meant you either hid or left. He told me his dad still called him every Sunday to ask when he was going to settle down with a nice girl. He didn't flinch when I mentioned exes. I didn't flinch when he mentioned his on-again off-again girlfriend, Lauren. We were careful, polite, safe. Then Jordan texted. "I'm sorry. I was scared. Can we talk?" I stared at the screen until it blurred. Ryan saw me from the couch. "He wants back in," I said. Ryan didn't move. "What do you want?" I didn't answer, because I didn't know. That night I didn't reply to Jordan. Instead I sat on the balcony with Ryan, passing a single beer between us, watching the city lights flicker like nervous heartbeats. "You ever think about just saying screw it?" he asked suddenly. "Doing what you want regardless of what anyone thinks?" I looked at him, really looked. The way the porch light caught the stubble on his jaw, the way his eyes held mine a second too long. "Every day," I said. He nodded slowly, then looked away. "Yeah, me too." I didn't know what he meant. I wasn't sure I wanted to. The third week felt like walking on glass. Every conversation carried weight. Every silence felt loaded. Jordan kept texting. Apologies. Promises. Memories. I read them all. Answered none. Ryan noticed. He didn't push, but he started staying up later, sitting on the couch when I couldn't sleep, pretending to watch whatever late-night rerun was on. We talked about everything except the obvious. Then one Thursday he came home with takeout. Thai, my favorite, the kind Jordan always forgot to order. You remembered, I said, surprised. He shrugged. You mentioned it once. Figured you could use something good. We ate on the floor because the table felt too formal. Halfway through pad thai, he asked the question I'd been dreading. Do you still love him? I set my fork down. I don't know what love feels like anymore. Ryan looked at me like he was trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. That's not an answer. It's the only one I've got. He nodded, then went quiet for a long time. When he spoke again, his voice was different. Softer. Almost careful. I've been thinking about what you said. About doing what you want. I waited. I've always dated girls. Always thought that was it. But living here with you? He stopped, rubbed the back of his neck. It's different. You're different. My heart slammed against my ribs. Ryan. I'm not saying I'm gay. He cut in quickly. I'm just saying I don't know what I am right now. And that scares the hell out of me. I stared at him. The room felt smaller, the air thicker. You don't have to know, I said finally. Not tonight. He exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for years. Thanks. We didn't speak after that. We just sat there, two men in a borrowed space trying to figure out how to breathe around the thing neither of us wanted to name. The next morning Jordan showed up at the door. I opened it before I could think. He looked wrecked. Dark circles, hair messy, eyes desperate. I messed up, he said. I know I did. But I'm ready now. I'll tell everyone. I swear. Behind me, Ryan froze in the hallway. Jordan saw him. His face changed, confusion, then hurt, then anger. Who the hell is this? He demanded. My neighbor, I said. He's staying here because his place flooded. Jordan laughed, sharp and bitter. Right? And I'm the Easter Bunny. Ryan stepped forward. He's telling the truth. Jordan looked between us. You're kidding. You replaced me with the straight guy next door. I didn't replace anyone. I snapped. You left. Jordan's eyes filled. I'm here now. I felt Ryan's hand brush my arm. Just a touch. Barely there. Enough to steady me. I need time, I told Jordan. Please go. He stared at me like I'd slapped him. Then he turned and walked away. The door closed. Silence swallowed the apartment. Ryan didn't move his hand. After Jordan left, the apartment felt like a crime scene. Evidence everywhere. His forgotten hoodie on the chair, the coffee mug he always used, the ghost of his cologne in the bathroom. I wanted to burn it all. Ryan didn't let me. He made coffee. Strong. Black. The way I liked it. Then he sat across from me at the kitchen table and said, You don't have to decide anything today. I looked at him. Really looked. The man who'd walked into my life with a duffel bag and no expectations. The man who was straight or thought he was until living with me made him question it. I'm scared, I admitted. Of what? Of you. Of this. Of what happens if you wake up one day and realize you're not whatever this is. He didn't flinch. I'm scared too, but I'm not running. Those words landed like stones in still water. Ripples spread. We started doing things together. Grocery shopping, watching movies, cooking dinner. Small, domestic things that felt huge because they weren't supposed to happen between us. One night we were on the couch, some dumb action flick playing, when he reached over and took my hand. Just held it. No kiss. No pressure. Just fingers laced through mine like they belonged there. I didn't pull away. The next day Lauren called him. I heard his voice from the bedroom, low, careful, final. When he came out, his face was pale. She's done, he said. Said she knew something was different. I waited. I didn't lie to her, he continued. I told her I'm confused. That I need to figure myself out. I swallowed. And she said she hopes I find what I'm looking for. He looked at me. I think I already have. My heart stopped, then started again, faster. That weekend we went to the park. Not a date, not officially, just two guys walking, talking, laughing. When a group of teenagers walked by and one whispered something, Ryan's hand tightened on mine. He didn't let go. Later, back home, he stood in the doorway of my bedroom. I don't know what label fits, he said. I just know I want to be here. With you. I crossed the room. Stopped inches from him. Then stay. I whispered. He did. The world didn't approve. My friends were skeptical. He's straight, Alex. He'll hurt you. Jordan's friends were worse. Texts calling me a homewrecker, saying I'd seduced Ryan, that I'd ruined a good man. Ryan's family was silent. That was somehow louder. We kept going anyway. We went to a bar one Friday night. First time out together in public. Not holding hands. Not yet. But close enough that people noticed. A guy at the bar recognized me from college. He looked at Ryan, then at me, then smirked. New boyfriend. Ryan answered before I could. Yeah. The word hung in the air like smoke. I looked at him. He looked back. Steady. On the walk home, he stopped under a street lamp. I meant it, he said. I know. He leaned in. Slow. Giving me time to pull away. I didn't. The kiss was soft. Careful. Full of everything we hadn't said. When we pulled apart, he rested his forehead against mine. I'm not straight, he whispered. Not anymore. The words broke something inside me, in the best way. But the world kept pushing. Jordan showed up again. This time at my work. He waited outside the building, eyes red. I still love you, he said. I'll do anything. I looked at him, really looked, and saw the boy I used to love. The one who was afraid. I'm sorry, I told him. But I'm not going back. He cried. Right there on the sidewalk. People stared. I didn't care. I walked away. That night Ryan was waiting. He didn't ask what happened. He just held me until I stopped shaking. We were building something fragile and fierce. Something the world wanted to break. And we refused to let it. Months passed. The apartment stopped feeling temporary. Ryan's things slowly filled the spaces Jordan left empty. His boots by the door. His tools in the closet. His laugh in the kitchen. We fought real fights about stupid things and big things. About labels. About fear. About whether we were moving too fast or too slow. We always found our way back. One evening we sat on the balcony. Same spot where everything started. City lights glittering below us. Do you regret it? I asked. He looked at me like I'd asked something ridiculous. Never. I believed him. But the question still lingered, the one no one could answer for us. We had built a life. Not perfect. Not easy. But ours. And maybe that was enough. The end of our story isn't the end of the questions. So I leave you with this. Can a man who once believed he was straight truly fall in love with another man? Yes or no?